Happy New Year, everyone. Mike, I'm going to have to catch your demo. It has me in the title right there. Dummies. So, what we're turning today is we're going to actually, more of the demo is on the D-Way tools. I don't know if some people have trouble doing a nice bead where they're turning their spindle gouge over to make a nice bead back and forth, and considering the amount of time we're going to have in this little object of beading here, it goes pretty quick. So D-Way is, you want to kick over the screen right here? D-Way tools. You can go talk to Jimmy and Cindy over there. Oh, we're missing the bottom. Yep, camera. Let me kick that up just a hair.
I got it.
You got it?
Yep.
Okay. DWayTools.com. Jimmy and Cindy there are great people. I talked to them 2 days ago or 3 days ago just to confirm a few things with them. Very great people. Were very helpful. But right now, because of the COVID-19, they are jammed. He's waking up at 5 in the morning and working till 8 at night. So, but he's very responsible, and they do a great tool. Again, big thing about this is safety. I like to remind everybody at the beginning of the year, of course, I'm wearing glasses. I normally wear a full face shield, but for this case of this demo, I'm just going to be wearing the safety glasses. So let's start this out. What we're turning today is a yarn bowl. This yarn bowl is going to be set up so our radius is nice, simple curve, so the ball of yarn will fit in there and spin out. It's a heavier bowl, so we don't pull it out, and you're going to put your lid right through this little opening. If you don't know anybody that does knitting, then we just sit there and turn this into a birdhouse, because this is just, I think, would look great in the backyard. So setting up, the first thing we want to do is figure out, that does lock nice.
Yeah.
How we're turning the wood. We're going to kick this. So we're doing a slight layout. And one thing about ash, as you can see, you want to bring this down on the bed? Okay. You can see how the grain really starts to cup here. And what we're trying to do is, if you look right here, I reverse the grain on this one so it swirls out, but I literally want this to kind of match up. So all of a sudden we have the grain being systematic. So I'm going to make this the bottom of my bowl, and that's why I chucked this out. And what I like about this knot, this gives me a spot for my yarn to come out, and it actually will enhance it. So hopefully it doesn't go too far down or anything like that, where we can kind of keep it in play. But you can see by the pattern of the grain, we have some design part of this ash because the grain is so pronounced. And if we don't kind of do that, we have something that looks like this, and things don't seem to match up very well. So be conscious about grain when we get through with this. So I already did a tenon on this. Recess, so I'm ready for this. I'm using my vacuum chuck, and I forgot this is the rubber guy or something like that.
Rubber chucky.
Rubber chucky. So I used to use the foam pads on this, but the rubber chucky works out really well. And when you're just using it as a friction chuck, it works quite nice. So this is my first time on a Vicmar lathe. So, and Ron made a few little alternations to this. So this works out really nice. One of the things that happened to this too is, as we look at this, we can sit there and try and round this out. And but it's easier to start just cutting away and not worry about rounding it out. It'll get there a lot faster if we just start dishing this out. Now, as the shape goes on, again, I'm not taking this to a full radius. I'm going to have a base on this because of it needs to sit flat on the floor. So I'm not worried about matching my radius from the inside on the outside. I want to have a steady base. So I'm not going to lose too much off of this base. So let's fire this up. That's I got it on slow speed first. I spin the bowl to make sure, and then bring my speed up from that. And again, I'm using the 40-40 grind. And I'm just using a shear cut off of this. And as you can see, it pretty much already took that off. Again, shut off the lathe before you move the tool rest. And the part that comes into this, let's see if I have a pen on me.
What do you need?
I was just wanting something sharp.
Here.
I got something. So the part on a 40-40 grind is we're using this to cut and this part to shear. So it kind of comes into where we're using a cut and a shear at the same time. So at this point, to get a good clean cut, start at neutral, open it up. You can see how the wood is shining out. You shouldn't talk while you're turning. So you can see where this gives you a pretty nice cut and a clean on the 40-40 grind. We still got a little bit of a flat there. We're going to make one more cut out of it. Again, start at neutral. Open it up. And it's about the shape I want it to do right now, so we're just going to reverse chuck it now, and we'll play with the rest of the shape after. Make sure your chuck's all the way on. Does lock.
Yeah, you don't have to push it down hard. So,
You know what? A little more room. Again, give it a spin, drop the speed. Little rattle in the bearings. Pardon?
Change it to a different pulley and it'll quit.
Huh.
I don't know, it's just that one pulley. I think there's something wrong with the pulley itself.
So in this, let's start planning this out. We're going to want this a little more thickness in here because we're gaining the weight. So we're going to bring in our edge right about in here, and then we're going to do a fairly well tenon. So our bowl is going to end up a good half-inch thick. It might not be totally true. It's not running true. I'm going to reach through this outside edge. Again, always spin your bowl before. Yeah, it's not running right. So actually, I'm going to use the 40-40 as just a skew cut. And as you can see, the wood chips are just feathers now.
Tom, I have a question.
Yes.
You called that a skew cut? Did you mean, I've never heard of that.
A skew cut? The advantage, boop.
Overhead, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm going to get this though. What happened to that whiteboard? There it is. Because of the 40-40 grind, your wings are perfectly square, straight. Pretty much just like a skew. Boom. So there it is right in there. So by reversing this down onto the bowl, this basically just shears like a skew. Somebody may name it a different verbiage to it, but basically you're using it as a skew right there. Does that answer it?
You're rubbing the bevel?
I'm not even rubbing the bevel. I'm basically keeping it on a straight edge. So the bevel would be here. I'm literally off the bevel and just using that as a shear cut more, or a skew cut. Shear or skew. Okay, we're going to hollow this one out. Again, we're going to start on our weight on our right foot, moving to our left. We're doing the dance. We start our circles up. And now we're going to start doing a little more work on this. Open it up. We're going to drop the handle down. It's starting a little more of a tool rest is in the way. The tool rest is slightly in the way. I mean the tailstock. Yeah, all right. So I'm going to drop the handle. Still working on that. Bring the handle level and work it on in. Lost my radius. Drop the handle. Bring it back to straight. Finish it up in the center. Again, start neutral, open up the tool, drop the handle. And I'm working on my radius now of the inside of this bowl. I'm thinking about a ball of yarn and how does it work on being rounded. Again. We're working on always changing the angle of the tool. Again, it's a 40-40 grind. If we keep this straight on and open it up, we can make that one cut straight in. But look what happened. It pretty much made this edge straight, and I want to work the radius here. So that went really deep. Now I want to do is I'm going to change it by changing the angle, bringing my tool down, allows me to do a nice radius. If I keep this on this straight angle here, this keeps that and fights that circular motion here. By dropping the handle and changing my cutter, I'm giving this radius here and allows that to flow around this turn, giving me that perfect radius. So if I don't drop my handle, change my cutting radius, I can't get that good circle. I want to keep that flow. If I keep this straight, it wants to follow that bevel and go straight in. Any questions on that? It's all about that one cut. If I shrink this up.
Are you going to use that tail rest at all?
Yeah, I'm going to. Nah, we'll be all right. It's got that ridge on it. I miss my big tool. see if I can swing it. This is the other reason why you have a 24-inch height. You get used to turning one way. Take a look, see at that. Pretty nice shape. I want to bring this and clean that up. And you can see the difference between this 5/8 bowl gouge versus that 1/2 inch. How much deeper I can reach in and how much less chatter there is. We're going to come in here and bring this in a little closer. We'll work out a finished cut. This is a bowl gouge, ground on 40, and then it ends up with a second grind. A secondary grind across the face. So you can get into pretty much a 90-degree edge on the bottom of the bowl. So your tool isn't sitting way back over here. It's basically almost 90 degrees to the bowl. Plus, it's such a small cutting surface, it makes a really nice finished cut if I got enough swing. Is that camera going to be in your way? I'm going to move this one for a second. I can't see shit. You all right with that camera? Yeah. We got too many things in the way, and I can't see much.
Yeah, that washes it out.
Yeah, I know.
Just switch to a different camera.
Yeah, we're good. I just wanted to see. So basically, right now, if you want, we could do a nice clean cut with a negative rake scraper. Let's see, Sorby. I've had this since high school. I'm not going to worry too much more on that, but we're going to make a little more of a tenon here and make sure it's really nice and squared off. Excuse me. Hopefully nobody ears broke on that one. No, Brian, we're good. I'm not going to worry about any more than that.
Yeah, much better.
What do I want to do? I want that shoulder nice and square. Don't do that. So we got this nice square shoulder. We're just going to run here and wow. You would, it's just.
I know, it makes a difference.
It makes a difference. So right here with the first seat of a D-Way tool, we're just going to run it in. A little bit of a rock. And it leaves a nice radius edge on that edge with very little work. So we're just going to play a little bit, get the diameter of this one, just so we have a rough guess. Pull this chuck off. I guess this is why I wear a full mask and not suck up a bunch of dust. So the radius isn't bad. It could have went a little deeper, but again, for what the demo is, I think it's going to show you what's going around. So I'm just going to put another chuck on. I already cut the foot in this. I'm kind of flying through here, Ron, huh? I'm kind of flying through here, aren't I? It took a lot longer than the first time I did it. Move that out of the way. Okay, so we're sitting here. This is our bottom that's going to mate up to the lower section. This is our top. As we start looking at the design, we're going with what nature gives us the best. And basically, we got 3/4 of an egg. It's supposed to imitate one of the Beehive, the old rope ones they used to do. And but it's still in that shape, comes that natural shape of half an egg into there, and that's what nature gives us. So it's great to imitate nature, because if we start going into some strange teepees or something like that, it isn't an organic shape as much as a man-made one. So we're going to, I'm sorry?
That's a glue up.
This is a glue up. And as you can see right here, even after planing it, it did start to warp a little bit. You see a gap there and a little bit of a glue gap there compared to where it was here. So it started to open up. And when they start to open, the grains are trying to straighten out. So that gives you a little bit of a grief. So again, turn the speed down slow. Start it up. Bring the speed up. Gonna go through it. We'll take that. Again. I love it when I can slow down a lathe.
There's a question come in of what size is the actual blank top to bottom.
I'm sorry?
There's a question on the chat about how big is the size of the blank from, say, top to bottom? How tall is this beehive?
Missing it. Sorry, Ron. What's the question?
How tall is the beehive and how wide is it?
This is an 8x8 blank. It's 8 inches diameter, of course, on that. So the total height, okay, I didn't take a tape measure. But, no, we have one here. So the height of the one I did was just under 9.5. Again, if I did this and saved everything, it would definitely be too tall. Definitely too tall. Again, there's that visual aspect of once you get it turning and all that, depends on how much you hogged off. We left that wall thick here for 2 reasons. One, we're going to be cutting into the bead, but that's still only going to take it 3/16 of an inch. But we left this in case we have to take a good 1/8 inch or 3/16 to make sure the form is correct. Did that answer your question, Ron?
I'm assuming it wasn't my question, so just
hopefully it answered it. I'll make some more wood chips. Any other questions? Guess not. Okay. Again, if you're taking too much off all at once, it's not bad to step. You could always go back into that step afterwards. And again, note the position of the tool. I'm making sure I still get that cut, and it just starts to catch the top section to shear that, so we get a very nice clean cut. I'm literally going the wrong direction while cutting this, and we're still getting a really nice, I would say, fair cut into this. I got some chatter in here, but it still gives a very clean cut. Can I switch these, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna sharpen the tool. Sorry, we're getting a little dull on this. How hard do you wrap these things in, Rod? I went both ways.
The wrong way.
A camera on the sharpening, so I can see how that
Unfortunately, we do not have a camera over there.
You don't have the mobile, Ron?
I do, but it'd take me a minute to set it up. I could do it in just a second if you want to give me a minute here.
I got it. We'll go for a minute. Ron, again, this is a 40-40 grind. Pete gave a great demo on this. Kudos to Pete. And then here we are. We're going to set up. So once you have the tool set up, it's going to be kind of visual in this. He didn't have a 40 gauge, but I just came in here and ran it into this. So I know where my 40 is. I know my wings are pretty much at 40 right now. I'm coming over here on the sideways. Making sure my wings are here. Rolling down. Catch it right over here on the 40. Hit right there. And roll down. We're done. So we got a little tear out here. That should make a difference on this cut. Definitely cutting a whole lot easier. So sharper tool, you can see the tear out here, no tear out here. So literally increase the cut by at least 100%. So again, why work with a dull tool? On this cut right here, tool supported against my leg, weights from my right leg to my left leg, whole body's moving. Again, working that shear cut off the wing. We're almost down. Really feel that knot. That chatters from the knot. They're hitting that hardwood and really making it bounce right off of that. Again, moving my weight from my left to my right. I mean, my right to my left. Okay, I'm stopping there. I want the extra mass right here over the chuck. I also use larger chucks than I did in my other one, so I can grab a bigger foot in this and keep the vibration down to a minimum when I start hollowing this out. So we took the calipers before. Again, we don't want this to hit on this side. We're massing it up here. So we're somewhere right in there. You just take the beading. I'm looking at my gap here. It's actually right kind of like at the radius. Just recheck.
Oh, yeah. I do that all the time.
So I'm going to do it without the tailstock on here because we're just going to sneak up on this. One more cut. I have to tell you, I really miss the club meetings. Because right about now, I'd get like bantering and people giving like snide remarks. At least one or two comments.
You're doing great, Tom. Don't worry about it.
We'll bring in Pete Wade next month to correct all your mistakes.
Oh, good deal. Go! I think we're there.
That sounds good.
I learned everything about the 40-40 from Pete. Oh, no. Actually, I didn't. I'm sorry. It's that time I spent down there with Stuart Batty.
It's kind of like watching paint dry.
Okay, I've squared up my shoulder. Get rid of those marks that I have right there. Make sure we're nice and flat. I think my tongue's a little deeper than this. So we're going to go in a little bit. I can live with that. Might need a paper towel. Okay, so right in here, again, this is pretty deep. So I'm going to bring the tail stock back up in here to keep a little bit of vibration when I'm starting to hollow this out. I'm going to start out with the bow gouge. I couldn't imagine if this was a bunch of end grain. Again, listen to your tool. If it's telling you that it's chattering and making all kinds of noise, do something different. If you notice here, if I kept that gut, I'm right against the tool, the back rest here, whatever that's called. My 40-40 grinds on that angle. So by starting this here and changing it, all of a sudden I can get in a lot closer. Now that breaks some of the rules of using a bowl gouge, because they say if you could see this line, you're going to get a grab. So again, I'm changing that angle and working it around probably a little more than I should. And it's starting to get a little grabby. So one of the things that comes into this, everybody says, well, got a bigger tool. If you want less grab, go with a smaller tool and something that can reach in. So that's why when you start doing a lot of hollowing, you'll end up with this smaller tool to play around with.
What kind of tool is that?
So this is,
I had a question.
okay.
What was your question?
No question?
What kind of a tool was that?
This is Trent Bosch's little round nose carbide tip. I was thinking this is the one that I bought from Mike Natho, but it's not. This is the one I've had for a while. And these tips are interchangeable, so you just put on a little bit of CVA. But you can see just by this cutter, it could be pretty damn aggressive. Just a simple 40 grind on it, but I also grind this side so you can see when I was ripping into that side, and the knot's really not bothering it too much. This ends up being a 5/8 tool. So very little chatter. The sides are reliefed. So you can reach in next to the edge and not worry about it too much about catching. And again, because the cutter is so small, you can only get a catch on that little bit compared where you start going into something like this, you have a lot of cutter to grab. So if you start feeling that you're getting a lot of catches because of strange grain or anything along those lines, go with a smaller tool. You'll find out that you'll have less issues with it. And I'm just noticing that my knot's going to work out perfect for that yarn to come out. So I'm pretty happy with that.
One more thing, that's not a carbide tip, though. It's a high-speed steel tip.
Is it steel?
Yeah. And number two, I'm going to talk about those tools quite a bit next month.
Okay. Well, good. Then, and I have to say, I have to bow down to Mike. He uses these so much that he would be the expert on that.
And Tom, did you consider taking that knot out before you turned so that you didn't have the hard bounce off of that? If you know you're going to take it out anyway.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Did you consider drilling out that knot before you started turning? It seems like if you'd have done that first, you would have avoided a lot of the bounces you were getting.
Yeah, but then you also have the fact, if you look at this knot right here, how much chipping is on that knot. It's perfectly clean on the wood all the way here, but that knot inside is all chipped. So by having unsupported wood where that knot is, chances are we'd blow through edges over here. So the only thing you could do is you could actually bore out this center, but I'm just kind of using it more for support. I still haven't learned how to take easy slice cuts, and you can see that when I'm using my 5/8 bowl gouge, I'm taking almost a 3/8 slice and slowing down the lathe. I have to catch myself so I don't go too aggressive.
I do the same.
Any other questions?
So, Tom, if that knot was a little bit loose, would you consider stabilizing it with epoxy or glue or something?
Yeah, or if it's a little bit loose, I'd already pop it out by now and not worry about it. But again, you got to be trickier with your tool work then to make sure you don't get too aggressive so you don't get the tear out. A little CVA in there and everything else along those would be fine. The only problem with you start using the CA glue, it becomes a little hard, and then all of a sudden it dulls your tool real quick. So I have a tendency to try to avoid that. Any other questions? Okay, let's cut this puppy out. So that was that nice little grab, but it wasn't like a big nasty grab. if this knob is wider than mine? I'm actually getting a little bit of this side of the tool in here. We're working on the top section right now, this section right here, so we can eliminate, with this much mass in here, it eliminates a lot of the chatter here. So we're bringing that now to where we can just get that done and not go back to it. And I'm going to leave that, just that little step in there, because I don't want to widen it at all. Just seeing how the shape is before I pop this center out. We're good. Eating a little bit of sawdust. So right about now is when you take a saw to this and take care of that. If it was end grain, it wouldn't come out that easy. I'm gonna, yeah, let's get rid of that though. Okay, I'm using this little one here just to start cleaning up. I gotta drop the tool rest just a hair. This keeps me from not going crazy and being over aggressive. Again, not to reiterate or like be redundant or anything like that. You can see how the angle of this tool is almost 90 degrees to the bed versus if I went to this 40-40 grind, I would have to be working it way over here, and which almost next to impossible. So I wouldn't have any type of bevel to rub with. So it's one of these tools that you kind of have to get used to using, but once you do, it's very nice. And Ashley Harwood had that big bottom one that she was getting from Doug Thompson, which would work the same way, except I'm not making big bowls. Again, my handle's dropped on this. I got a nice clean cut over there, but I'm going to have to switch out because I was going a little too deep. It's one of these tools, if you hear the chatter, you better back off a little bit. It still is only a 3/8 bowl gouge. We have it out there quite a ways. Going to pick up that burr right there. There it is. We hit the remote stop. If you notice, I got to bring my tool back to center, so I'm always keeping my handle down. Make that cut. And then bring it right back to center. I'm also switching my weight from my right leg to my left leg as I rotate. Clear this out. You can see that this is a pretty nice cut. I do have some chatter in there. We'll see if we can make one nice finish cut. If not, we'll throw a negative rake scraper. The chatter's coming because I'm taking about a 1/4 inch cut out of that. You would think that this little cutter wouldn't do that, but it does. We're just going to clean that up with a negative rake. Oh. Just see if I can clean it up just a little more. Wanted to get a new burr on that. That knot's giving me a little grief. It's taking the burr right off of that. So it gives me a nice clean cut until I get to the burr, the knot, and then it totally changes. So here we are. We're gonna pull this. Thanks. Questions right now? We're going to throw this one back up. This is why everybody needs 3 or 4 chucks. I was wondering if my center point was going to be there, and it is.
You got a minute? You want 1 minute?
Pardon?
We run this, you got a minute?
Sure, go ahead. Ron's going to make a little noise. Oh, okay. He's just going to fire up some air so I don't choke. I got plenty of wall thickness in here, so I'm not worried about that. I'm also making sure that I line up how the grain is here. Okay? So the end grain to end grain, face to face. We're just going to slide this up, lock it in place, and lock this in. We came out pretty close to where we want to be. Again, we have a lot of mass here. We barely just punched through here. So the opening isn't only over to here. So now we're just going to kind of start to true everything up. We're going to switch the lathe to slow. Turn it on. See how we're running. Pretty darn nice. Don't know how that happened.
Tom, that's because you're a professional.
Thank you. Thank you. But no, I'm not. I do not have that many views as much as you and Mike have on YouTube. Let's talk about a little bit about this joint. Can we switch over to the whiteboard?
Yes. You're there.
We're there? Good. Okay, so if we have this radius here, boom, we have our joint. We have our radius here.
Can you stand to the left of the board and reach over?
Yes, I can.
There you go.
We want this area to be pretty much flat. If we start to do this and our radius comes up like this and keeps going and then it circles down and we do our joint here, because of the way the grain is, this will snap over here. So we want to keep this pretty parallel. This bowl right here, it really doesn't matter because we're doing beading. But if you start to do negative cuts like this, so your edge matches really nice here, when you start cleaning up, you end up with a gap there. So it's real important right now, just get in the habit of making nice square cuts so this lines up. And the one thing we want to do is keep this area on the flat so the grain stays real nice and true. So where this starts to meet up here, oh, cold coffee, I like that. We're going to try and square that area up so it's nice and true, and then work our shape in here where we want to make it. And again, we have the makings of a large Easter egg here with a flat cut off, so the grandkids will love you if you make large eggs. I'm going to go back in this, and I'm going to throw a little sharpening on there. What grit CBN?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's a 180.
Feels that one. Are we on slow? Again, a little spin. Bring your speed up. Neutral position, bring it in, rotate over, make your cut. Again, that 40-40 grind kind of breaks the rules because you could see that flute's wide open right there, but I want this cut, that straight wing, to shear off some of that wood, and that keeps you clean. But we'll still work it and get it a little cleaner, but I just wanted to, again, they say put that pencil marker in there, and you see that, you're going to get a grab. Start with neutral, slowly roll your tool open, and then make your cut. Just gonna move the tool rest. When you see my tool skate like that, it's because I didn't go start neutral position. Get that habit of neutral, open up the tool. You'll save yourself a lot of grief. We're going to clean up this bottom a little more. and then go back and finish up the top. A little bit of a design change. I probably went a little lower in the center than I wanted, but it'll be all right, I guess. We still got a little offset here. It looks like we have to clean up that. So we'll work that one around. You can hear the tool working a little harder right now because of the longer cut. And I'm farther away from the tool rest. I was running the bevel pretty hard on that. That's why it looks a little burnished. Pretty much got a nice shape into there. Again, doing the dance. Now I'm left foot to right foot. Pick up that little lip. So how many people made New Year's resolutions not to use sandpaper anymore? Again, bigger tool, more chances of chatter. The tool is a little dull, but still we're starting to get a little grabby because we're now not moving as fast because we're over here compared to how fast it's moving over here. So we're going to make the cutter a little smaller so we have less chances of grabbing.
I have 3 pictures on the right side of my screen that kind of cover up what you're working on. How do I get those pictures off?
Get out of the porn site.
Tell him to put his mouse on it, left click it, and he can move it wherever he wants.
Put your mouse on it and move the pictures.
Put your mouse over the pictures, left click it, and you can move it wherever you like.
That work? Sounds hollow. Okay, so here's part of the demonstration because we're all like one tool short of being the best wood turner we've ever been. And that's why we're going to start using this D-Way tool. Again, these are really sweet. This is a 3/8 bevel. I talked to Jimmy. I said, how often do you have to sharpen it? He goes, he sharpens it every time he goes to use it. So these are sharper friendly because it's just basically a flat and you're going to run it in and you're done. So the big thing we're going to start on these beads is we want these seams to match up. So we're going to hit this bead right here. Now the big thing about this is actually getting it on a nice angle. You don't want to run it in like this. This tool handle needs to be down. And we're also going to do a little bit of rock to help cut it instead of just letting it being stationary and burning. So we're just going to give it a slight rock as we roll through here. And the first cut's going to be right on that seam so we can eliminate the seam. And then we'll carry it both directions after that. And then we're going to see how well this knot survives the cutter. Yes.
One of the things I've noticed with the tool is versus trying to do it with a gouge is it seems to want to tear out versus a gouge because of the way it's doing it. Is there a trick to getting it not to tear out?
Speed. Speed. We're going to see how fast we can get this to spin, and then we're going to crank up the speed. The key is to sit there. If you go slow, it's going to grab, and it's going to tear wood. If you go faster, hopefully it gets past it before. I have a little bit of tear out on this, but not much. Had some problem with maple, but not much. But that was a very large platter, and I don't think I could have got enough speed out of it. Also, I think on a platter, if you're going to beat it while it's not finished. So you have more supported material behind it so it doesn't chatter on you, give you the vibrations. So, you know, we got this locked in pretty solid. So it's really nicely balanced. So the big thing I was talking to him about it, that anything I need to know, because, you know, we're the worst ones. We grab a tool and we say, hey, here we are. I'm going to do it. I watched this video and, okay, this looks easy. But after I asked him, he says, you know, he had one person that was getting all kinds of tear out. And he said, well, finally found out that he was trying to use the tool at 300 RPMs. Won't work. So speed is going to be your best friend.
Thanks.
I can't see my seam.
Put up that.
Okay. Again, tool low. Approach it. I'm almost squared up to where my seam is, so that first leg is going to fit in there. Then I'm going to approach to get the other leg in there. Then I'm just going to give it a little rock. And I'm looking at the gap where the radius is and waiting for that to disappear. And zero tear out. I'm going to move this so I'm a little more square to where we want to cut. Again, there's a big flat right here, and that's on your tool. So if you go way over here, you're trying to rotate it, you become unsupported. So we're just going to catch this outside wing. I think I got a little flat left in there. I do. I have a little flat. But you can see how aggressive this can be when I swing it in. I'm going to make the adjustment. That bearing's getting louder?
Yeah,
I noticed that.
I don't think it's the bearing. If you change the pulley, it stops.
Okay.
It's only on one pulley.
Now, don't get these confused with the Sorby makes these, don't they? And in the words of King Hipple, there isn't a tool around that makes a bead. Well, he wasn't around for these. And this does make a very nice bead, but the ones from Sorby, no, not even close to what this does. And you can't sharpen them. There was a little grab. I wonder if I tore something out there. Now, if I was doing all those with a spindle gouge, they wouldn't look that good, for one, because I always do mine lopsided, and two, we'd be about the second one right now.
Hey, Tom,
Yes.
What is the position? It's hard to tell on the camera, but what is the position of your handle? Is your handle low, or are you coming in level like a scraper?
My handle is on my knee. So it basically, if you look at go above. Are you going to switch it over? Okay. So where you see this angle here this is basically approaching your material just almost at 90 degrees. It's basically, you're almost doing a reverse scrape. So can you get this one?
Yes.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so you can see where the approach is in here. I'm way down low. So this is hitting that handle. I would say it's at 30 degrees, maybe 40, that you're hitting this in.
Okay, so the flute is actually face down.
That is correct. I've done it where I had to do a negative scrape once, but no, the flute is straight down on this one. So your cutting edge is on the top surface. So you see actually your grind that you did.
Yeah, so basically the bevel is the cutting edge.
Correct. Pete, if you had one of these tools, it's going to just elevate your game.
Did you by any chance get us a discount code since you're promoting his?
No, I did not. But here's the avenue on this. They come in all different sizes. So you got from fine to nothing, and as you can see, I don't have any handles on this one. This is the one I'm making handles on, and what I ended up doing is the size of the bead here, I put the bead here, so I actually know what size the bead is just by referencing the handle.
Look at you, smart guy.
Hey, somebody's going to take that and run with it, and I will lose out, but just remember where you heard it first. The handle's out of snake wood, and I just haven't found enough stake wood to make the balance of the handles. So they also make this little teardrop one. And this teardrop one, as you can see, this square edge, if you wanted to put a layer of beads in here, this teardrop works as a slight little radius in here and really gets into that point very nicely. Wonderful tool. So as you start going through, he just came out with this 3/8 one. That's why we can get a larger one in here. But when we're done with this, I'll throw a piece of hardwood on, and I'll show you the other different sizes real quick. So let's run through this real quick, and then, they're...
Did they come as a set?
Oh, you can get a whole set. He's more than happy to sell you as many as you want. But
one more question.
Yes.
The rocking motion that you're doing, are you rocking the handle side to side, or are you rotating the handle?
I am rotating the handle side by side. Okay. Now, I did show him something that I never seen before, but if you remember on the show and tell, I had that pocket watch that I did, and I made a full ring out of this stuff. So I literally made a 2-inch ring using these tools. So it was a 1/4-inch rod all the way around radius. I cut it on this side, squeezed it a little bit, cut it off, rechucked it, and cut it on the other two sides, and it came out perfect. So that kind of surprised him. Okay, so any other questions?
What speed do you run that at?
I'm sorry?
What speed do you run that at?
Right now, I don't know, but it's booking. It's every bit of 25.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, you want it. I will tell you this is faster than the one I did, and I have almost zero turnout in this one, tear out, and I have tear out in this one. but I noticed the tear outs where I have the knot. So again, dulled the tool, but I have some tear out there, and I don't see a bit of tear out anywhere on this one. There's that grab I had. I take that back. That's where I said we had a grab. It took a little bit of flake right there. Any more questions? Cool. Let's finish it up. I was looking at the seam here. One spot, it's off. We'll clean cut that afterwards. Move the tool rest. Because I got to drop the handle so low, I want to keep the tool rest as clear as possible. Hopefully I'm not going to wash anybody out a little bit, but I can't see.
No, you're good there.
Okay. It was casting a nasty shadow. You can literally see the flat disappear as you run it. Because we're running downhill, we're actually cutting more on the upper part than the lower part. Not cut real well. So that's nice. You could actually tell that it's hollow underneath this by the cut. You get a little bit of resonating sound. I want to see if the quality of cut changed because of the, we got past the knot. No, it still looks all real good. Think about you would have to lay out 3/8 lines And then roll these beads really nice. And I'm literally just kind of squeezing my hand, unsqueezing it, just so it rolls just a little bit. That knocking sound is I broke Ron's lathe. We're cutting more face grain now, so these cuts are really clean. Versus where we had some end grain here, this is getting pretty much all face. A little tarot there. Okay, so we're going to finish up a little bit of this knob. Now, your choice on how you want this, again, design is all on you. But I like this bead right up in there. I like that. And I did notice that on the one I did the practice on, the knob was just a little small. This is Cindy DeRosa's detail gouge. Is something loose?
No, just go ahead.
No, trust me, I'm not going to slow down. I'm going to slow it down a little bit so I don't have this flying all over the place. One little finished cut. We always leave a little nib high. Guess not. So you can see the top. I brought the beads all the way up into that nice little thing. We got the hole that goes into there. Okay, so we have half a bead here. We missed by just a hair. So that's why we left this on. And we're just going to clean cut that off. Make sure I got the right one. You know what we're going to do. Should I do it, Ron? I got a bad bead. I got a bad bead.
What if you just undercut it slightly?
I'm going to. I'm going to cheat a little bit.
I'm learning.
So again, on this is where his little tier point one comes in nice and handy. And I can live with that. Probably could go a little deeper. It's got a big gap there, but actually if it's sitting on the floor, it's not going to really matter, is it? I love these things. No!
Wood glue will fix it.
There you are. Damn. Here, Ron, where you got the glue?
Now he has to use GA.
Okay, so we're going to come across in here. We're just going to basically reverse chuck this.
That's why you don't have as many views as me on YouTube.
You're correct. Just messed up twice.
Ouch.
Okay, if somebody doesn't have one of those, they should. Basically, it changes your threads, your tailstock. And it's a must if you have a vacuum chuck. That makes everything line up perfect. You don't have one of those?
I guess that's another thing I have.
Built into this one?
Yeah. I do not have one.
What's going on? There it is. We're going to use this for a jam chuck. Ron hasn't healed up his vacuum cleaner yet. Oh, vacuum pump. Oh, it's fine. Don't want him to go out and buy too many things. Guess it really isn't going to matter, the fact on that. But I wanted to show you exactly, if you have a vacuum chuck, this would just go right up in there, line up perfect. It spins perfect in the whole scheme of things. But we're going to change this out. Oh, that works easier. There it is. I really like these extended points for my tailstock. Cindy Droza sells these.
Okay.
And they come in a set. This one has a very small point. They have ones with larger points. They have ones with no points. So, and they're exactly 3/8 of an inch in diameter. So if you have, you're referencing the 3/8, it works out real well. Again, start slow. We got a little chatter on that. I'm just using the wing of the 40/40 grind. Make that happen. I'm going to play a little bit and just continue this bead over. problem with face grain, isn't it? Okay, where's the comment?
Oops.
Oops.
Very artistic.
No comments because everybody's done that at least once or
As
twice.
I say, not as I do.
Something like that.
We're down to 50 views on YouTube for this one.
Tom, it's time for the 60 grit disc sander.
No, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen.
That probably won't happen with a vacuum chuck, right?
No, it won't happen with a vacuum chuck. So let's say we have this mistake. We're going to play with it right here. So what happens now is going to be the fun part. We're going to turn this down nice and slow. I want to cut this ring. We're probably just a little too far on that. It's got to come back this way. That should do it. It's not bad. You would think that would be centered pretty much right there.
Sometimes I use a magnetic indicator to line it up.
We have this nice and slow right here. So right in here, all I'm going to do is let this tool move. Notice that the tool's moving now. And now it's pretty much clean except for that one little spot, so we're going to go a little more. Again, put the tool in there, rub the bevel, let the tool move, make the cut, finish it out. So we're going to clean that up just a little more. I'm going to split that. I guess I could do it with this one. Again, slow, except for that. That's why I was using the other one. Shame on me. Think I could square that up better? That upset me now. I'm not getting any better, am I?
Worst came to worst, you could take that last ring off.
That's what I was thinking.
Do the bottom up one ring.
I'm going to take somebody's suggestion and put the 40 grit on there.
favorite tool.
You're saying that's Ron's favorite tool? Luckily, I left a lot of thickness on this, or we'd be in trouble. Or I'd be in trouble. It's one thing of when you get used to a 40-40 grind, how fast you can sharpen it. No setting it in a jig. Set it flat on the table and sharpen away. I can live with that bottom. No, I'm not going to chance it flying off again. Call me a coward. This has already lost one knob. Where we at? Right there. So, right in here, we're going to do a quick drill. Hopefully. Works really nice on a drill press. I'm actually going to leave this. Ron, you want to grab half of that? No. Or even just up against there would be good. Let's go a little bit here. We got that
All right, hold it.
tail right there.
Yep, I got it.
That knot is hard. Speed. Hold on. Okay, ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh.
That's why knots don't want to go. We need a drill press.
Yeah.
Got a drill press? No. Okay. Wow. I should have left the knot as a feature. Then we need smooth edges.
See anything.
Well, good, because it was really bad. I got it wrong. The knot caused this to run, and I did my first one on a drill press. So the bottom part of the knot popped out a little bit in here. So we're going to do some really creative sanding on this and a little filler, and I think we'll be fine. So that is my broken yarn holder. And it's got a little weight to it, so it doesn't roll off. Again, we're going to have to make sure we do some really good sanding on the inside to make sure that's all radius so we don't have anything grab. So the last part of this, since we got 15 minutes, and if anybody has any questions, or if you want to say, hey, that was a nice job, or, oh my God, I can't believe we just wasted our whole Saturday morning.
Really nice job. Just a question on sanding. How far do you need to sand the inside to make it smooth for the ball of yarn?
Obviously, you feel anything, Ron? That one little tool, Pete, that I tried to show you that last time, it does such a nice cut that there's no burrs in there. You're more worried about the opening of the hole than anything else because the yarn could catch there pretty easily. You got anything that? Oh, here it is. Ah, you got a large one. Yeah, I know.
I have.
Yeah, I'm going to use. It's not hooked in there that hard. The nice thing about this is if you have cats, they like a ball. And so you have a tendency to at least hide that. But then you have a cat like mine who loves string, and then they play with the string. But I don't have to worry about that because my wife doesn't knit either. So.
Hey, Tom, this is Mike Krause. Is that as big as that tool comes?
What was that, Mike?
Is that as big as that tool comes? I have the Sorby one. It's about 3/4.
Right now, I think the largest he has is 3/8.
Okay.
The big thing about it, it cuts really nice, as you can see. 3/4, you're just going to have to learn that by hand.
I got the tool from Sorby, but you can't, like you said, you can't sharpen it. I don't know. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you barely.
Okay. All right. And it burns when you stick it in. It's so big, it burns both edges if you go. It's pretty aggressive.
You know, and again, 3/4 of an inch is a pretty aggressive cut. So just a tulip wood. I was cleaning up just a little more. So again, as we work into this, he has different sizes. This was the first one I got, and you would think that he'd print the sizes on there, wouldn't you? I think this is exactly, it's like 3/16, maybe a quarter. No, this was 3/16. So
On the handle.
well, I could see the size of the bead, but I never wrote the size, the actual size of this. So you could see how grabby it was right at the get-go, and you see the tear out. And if we pick up the speed, it still was tearing. I got a little tear out in that. Oh, I got a big chunk out of there. Then I found out that if I do a little of this, I can negative scrape it. And it cleans it up a little bit. But that big chunk out of there doesn't help any. So again, this is what the teardrop tool is for. You got those square edges. This allows you to cut that relief and make that work. That tool could be dull, could be me. Again, the size of the beads they have. I think that's a 16th. I think that's an 1/8 inch. I know this one's a quarter. And again, they start running through different sizes. I thought tulip would be a little more easier to turn on these. But as you can see, I got a little dark spot right here. So I don't think he recommends this. But that negative scrape right there, it's pretty much real clean, does a nice little job, and not much of a big, it's clean.
Are you going straight in with that with your negative scrape?
Yes. I'm going to shorten this piece because I know how I am. And again, we're going to pick up this 1/4 inch one. And we're just going to try to do what we almost did on the and on end grain, it cuts really nice. And finishing it off. That tool is dull.
do we do for Lunchy?
Okay, by sharpening it now.
Yes.
Okay, I've had enough of the bearing.
Time?
Pardon?
You want to over here and show me?
Okay, on the sharpening here, again, this has a roll on the base, so this kind of goes in here, but what I'm doing here is looking at the side, looking at my angle, and then matching it and just walking it back. And that's sharp. So it's not, you don't have to do much, and it makes a big difference. But I wanted to show you on some end grain, on some exotics. You can make all kinds of buttons now with this. Your wife would love you, and everything along those lines. So again, enjoy.
Hey, go to the website for that place again.
dwaytools.com. He's going to kick over to the board. Cindy usually answers the phone because Jimmy is working in there. But if you have some questions or anything else, I tried to get off the phone a couple of times and he just lingered on. So he enjoys talking to his customers. Customer service is through the top. And if you have a problem,
He's the one that started making 20-inch handles because of me. The very first two that he manufactured. Numbers.
Nice. So, like I said, really good people.
Well, club members getting any discounts?
You know, I don't know. Ron is president. Might go talk to him.
I'll give him a call and see.
Well, here's the deal. If people are interested, I hate to put Ron on the spot, get together and put a group order in. It's as simple as that.
She'll do that.
Yeah, they will be happy to do that. And they discount the more tools you buy, the discount is there. So if enough people get together, I'm sure we can get a pretty good discount.
What I can tell you what she did for me was placed an order beginning of December. Well, my package made it to the post office in Cleveland. And that sat there for about 3 weeks. So I called her, and it was a 16-inch handle. So I told her, I said, you know what? Duplicate the order for me. And I said, but ship it some other way. So she did duplicate the order. She gave me a quick change knob. It's a complimentary. And shipped it UPS and did not charge me shipping for my inconvenience. And then amazingly, they both got there the same day. But, I mean, she did save me, it was $15 for the quick change, and shipping was about $8, so she saved me $23.
I haven't seen their handles. Ron says their handles are very nice, so I will take his word for it. But everything that I've ordered through them twice, everything comes packaged well, and they do a really nice job. And the beads speak for themselves, and especially when you could do that many multiple beads on this and come out looking flying like you know what you're doing. So, any other questions?
Yeah, see what kind of discounts they'll give you. Get a whole set.
I know he discounts the whole sets. Again, as I started looking through the beads, there's like a 16th one, and then there's like a 5/32. I mean, unless you're starting to make some jewelry and some earrings and things like that, some of those, that's like too close to even tell the difference, if what I'm saying. But I pretty much got the whole set except for that one that was so close that it didn't matter. And again, he has some negative rake scrapers there. He has some bowl gouges and things like that. Enjoy it. Just check out his website. That's all I'm saying. As for the beads, I love them.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to check out the website and see what Ron.
It'd be nice if we could get a discount. So.
See what I can do. I'll call her.
You cheap bastards. Yeah, the thing is just look at it and say, okay, in the next 3 weeks, pull this together, put the orders together, and put an order in. I know he has 1.5 inch CBN wheels. It's very difficult finding 1.5 inch CBN wheels. They're straight. Ron has one here, and once you get 1.5 inch ones, you hate 1 inch. So I'm changing plus I had accidentally put some bad steel on my wheels and they're clogged, so I'm getting a new wheel. But the 1.5 inch ones they're really nice. So.
That was an expensive mistake.
Yeah.
You can clean them.
Hey, Tom, I think you can get rid of that clogged wheel.
Yeah.
How?
There's two things. One, you could just grind a good steel on it and it would clean it up. And two, there's that guy, Wood Turner's Wonders guy. He sells a new cleaning stick that seems to work pretty good.
Okay. Well, I've used steel over it and it's not doing it. So the good steel isn't cleaning it.
Well, I'll buy it off you and I'll clean it.
Okay. I'd be more than happy to sell it to you. It's 180 grit, which is probably down to about 220, and it'll be fine. Be happy to sell it to you.
For $400, it's yours.
Give you a discount, $175.
All right, $375.
Also,
cool.
Tom, what do you grind your negative rake scraper at? What angles? What bevel angles?
I do it by eye, so I can't even tell you. I know it's not a 40. I think it's more about. But this is bad steel. So this looks like about 30 on the bottom side and about 10 on the top side. But like I said, I had this one laying around, so I just turned it into one. I like the radius on this, especially inside a bowl, because your corners don't grab. And I don't care about the tool as much, so I just do it and then set it aside. As you can see, it's nice and clean. But the problem with Sorby, about this much of the steel is hardened. So you got to worry about those grabs so it doesn't bend over.
Good show, even with the bleeps.
This one looks like, now still at least a 30. I'm putting 30 on the bottom. A good show, even without the bleeps or with the bleeps. Hopefully everybody kind of did. Hopefully everybody kind of understood by taking this bottom and going real slow and dragging your tool, you could actually clean that edge up pretty close. A lot of movement in the tool, but it actually works. I've done that on many cuts to get something matched up when you're blending it and you flip it over. Because you can't tell me that everybody flipped them over and they lined up exact. So a lot of times I'll start that with the rock and then cut it in and blend it in the rest of the way.
Good demo.
Thank you. Well, definitely good seeing, well, I don't see anybody now, but it's good being back here. I'm glad that everybody's well. that's here. Nobody lost a finger or anything like that. And hey, be out safe out there. And hey, we'll all meet up one time sooner or later at the club.
Hopefully by June.
Hopefully by June. Thank you all.
Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
Tom.